Alright, so as we did mention at the start of the month, we knew the Confio Round 10 banner was going to return, and lo and behold, it's right at the end of the month. So within this video, I'll be breaking down the banner, talking about some of the good things, the bad things, and why you might want to summon and why you might want to skip. That being said, let's jump straight into it. So firstly, the banner availability is going to be from tomorrow morning for me at the 24th, 8 in the morning, all the way to the end of the month. So essentially, the second this banner does leave is when the end of month banner does drop. Now, as always, the best thing I do recommend for anyone that is planning to summon on this is to wait until the 28th, where we do get end of month information, so therefore you don't regret summoning and having no orbs. That's the best thing you can do, and realistically, lads, unless you're really set on summoning on this banner, I don't want to see anyone summon until the 28th, because you don't want to regret it. End of month has the possibility of being something like Spirit's Artifact with you, so you definitely want to make sure you have some mobs ready. Other than that end of month banner though, we shouldn't be getting any more reruns. This does appear to be the last rerun of the month, and if we do go by the epic raid bonuses, these are the last characters to get their reruns, so don't expect any other banner to get announced other than the end of month banner on the 28th of this month. That said though, the very good thing about this banner is that it only features configured characters as long as you pull from the 4.5% featured pull rate. So yes, even though the 1.5% pull rate is actually pretty decent when it comes to new banners, unfortunately when it comes to reruns they do get the short end of the stick, because normally reruns always had better rates. In this case it just has the standard 0.5% pull rate per character, and your guaranteed step will guarantee one of these 9 characters. But like I said, the good thing about this banner is if you do pull a featured character, you are going to be getting yourself a guaranteed configured character, and having 9 configured characters in one banner, especially the last 3 rounds, is actually pretty decent and does hold some good value. So for example, the 3 main banner characters, we have someone like Tsukishima. Tsukishima is a NAD based character designed to counter someone like Drugum. That is his main use, and he's pretty good just for that. But at the same time, he is one of those few PvP characters or Brave Battle characters that actually have a lot of use outside of Brave Battles due to his SA2, that being a boost and a vortex. You can use him in any melee week of guild quests if you do need that boost and extra crowd control, and definitely someone worth using there. But at the same time, you can also use him to auto content. The drain he does have on every attack but his SA2 is actually pretty good for healing himself. Not as good as, 6th anniversary Aizen, but definitely still worth talking about. And lastly, his Sword Bomb does come with a weakened defense effect, so you can actually use him in epic raids, which is what you are supposed to use him because he is currently a bonus. You can use him there and you can do more damage. So pretty good character, definitely someone that you might want to have, especially if you do for some reason want to take Brave Battle seriously. At the same time, we have another very good NAD character in this banner, that being configured Ginjo. Ginjo is a NAD-based character with the Aaroniero killer, a ranged Aaroniero killer at that, very good. He's just a NAD character. He's a flurry NAD character with guard break. So one of the main reasons why someone like RERUN, Tokinada, Misaki, Kisuke are good is the same reason why this could go as good. Ranged, flurry, guard break is a nasty combination, and him having that is always going to make him viable for autoing harder content like co-op content, for example, maybe in IT if you're doing the extreme difficulty, and if you have some dupes in him, he's definitely worth bringing into IZ if you do want to get that free auto carry. At the same time, like Tsukishima, he also does come with weakened defense on his Soul Bomb, so therefore you can use him to clear epic raids a lot quicker. Although do keep in mind is that this epic raid is only here for another week, so you do want to make sure you take advantage of the slot when he is available to be used in epic raids. And then the third character from the same banner is the configured Mayuri. Now Mayuri is actually pretty decent. He does have very good strong attacks, that being a 3000 length beam SA1, a 960 distant AoE SA2, and a 1200 full screen SA3. So very good strong attacks, and at the same time all of his attacks do actually have a slight appearance of the Aaronios in the same banner, that being the Saruchi, Charlotte, and Dodoni, which is actually a pretty cool little touch on Kaila's part. Now, the main use of this character, even though you can use him in normal PvE content and epic raids, for example, is to actually use him in a Sparta week. And the reason for that is because he does have a Sparta killer, he does have the automatic revival Soul Bomb, which is mainly used to make sure your support characters actually stay alive in guild quests, but it does actually make very good usage in other content like epic raids, arena, and just normal PvE content if you are playing in co-op. He is a character that is actually pretty good, although you probably won't use him all that much because they're just other characters that do his job better, right? Unfortunately, just the way it is. Well, that doesn't make him bad. If you are a Mayuri fan, he's definitely worth using. Personally, I do think he's the best Mayuri in the game. I very much do like his visual. I like his character, but again, I have Arba Kichiko, so I don't really use Mayuri all too much. The other 3 characters on the banner are the configured Aaronios. Now, this was a mid-round banner, so unfortunately these characters aren't anything too amazing, but I'm going to quickly break down where they are going to be used in. Dodoni is designed to be used in guild quests. He has Captain Killer, he has the SA2 Vortex that does provide some extra good crowd control, and he can hit pretty hard. Unfortunately, he lacks poise, and that's about it. You can use him for normal PvE content, you can use him in epic raids for the next week, and that's about it. Other than that though, realistically, you probably won't ever use this character. Not that many people actually have Dordoni as your favorite character, so he's a character that, even though he's good to have somewhat, he doesn't have that many Senkomon quests designed for him, so you don't really use him all too much. I've had him since release, and if I'm being honest, I haven't used him at all, and that's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Again, that doesn't make him bad. You might find usage of him the way I couldn't. The other character in the banner is Saruchi. Saruchi is actually a pretty decent character. She just does like havoc, but the main thing about Saruchi is that she does have an increased chance to inflict the status dominant, in this case lacerate, to heart attribute Soripers, and then she does more damage to heart attribute Soripers. So she has some decent usage. She's definitely worth using to a certain extent, especially when, let's say for example, you're playing IT. When it comes to the Soriper week, she's someone that you can use. But unfortunately with the Soriper killer, there is a lot of competition, a lot of better competition. So yes, she has her usage. She can shine in IT, for example, when it is Soriper killer. Other than that though, realistically, the only place where you might use her is in Senkomon, and that's about it, unfortunately. Again, there's not that many uses for these characters. I do like to highlight where they can be used, but a lot of the times you might just use a better character that is just more common or just better in general. The third character is Charlotte. Now, Charlotte was very unique to a certain extent when he came out. He was one of the few characters in the game to have weakened defense on a weakening soul bomb. Not that many characters, even to this day, have that like effect. But since T20 came out, every character that has weakening can get weakened defense. Now, sure, this character can get double weakened defense, but you know, it's not too much. Like, it doesn't really matter that much. It isn't going to be making you use him over someone else that's just significantly better. Especially because his strong attacks do lack havoc. His SA3 is just a full screen attack. His SA2 is... I like the visuals of this character. His SA2 is the debuff effect. So again, this whole character is just designed to make potentially your team do more damage against one wave of enemies, essentially the way it is. The debuff effect is cool, and his SA1 is just a lunge forward. He's just a weird character, realistically. There isn't that much usage for him, personally. But like, the only way I actually personally use him is for damage testing. So let's say, for example, I'm actually showcasing a character at max transcendence. I want to see how much damage they can dish out on their soul bomb. That's when I take out someone like Charlotte to double weaken defense, to lower their defense with the SA2 to weaken them, and then I just saves me an extra slot, and I just allow my team to do more damage, essentially. So this is a character that, you know, is kind of fun in terms of the gameplay. His visuals are kind of funny, you know, the way he does his attacks and stuff like that. But yeah, it's very hard for me to find a reason to actually use this character a lot of the times. Even in Senkomon, he doesn't have that many stages, if any, designed for him. So he's just a very weird character that came out probably just a tad bit too late. But that said, we have three other pretty decent characters, mainly two. You know, Aura is just a bit meh. Let's talk about Aura, actually. Aura doesn't have the best strong attacks, and that's unfortunate. She has a no affiliation killer, she has weakening, SA1 is probably the worst strong one you can get in the game. SA2 is a crawling vortex, again, probably the worst strong attack 2 you could get in the game, and then an SA3 is, you know, a 1200 forward screen. So strong attack wise, she isn't the best. But you know what, if you are a Aura fan, I know there's not that many out there, but she is kind of cute. I like her gameplay in a sense that the visuals are kind of nice. You might want to use her, and you can use her. She can clear content, but there are just way better characters out there. So that's really all there is to say about Aura. Hikone, on the other hand, is actually a pretty good character. SA1 is a 3000 length beam. SA2 is a vortex, but it does have a vacuum effect at the start, which does allow you to... It doesn't allow you to miss enemies that are close by. Someone like Aura, for example, that SA2 can miss close-up enemies. Hikone doesn't get that. Hikone can pretty much guarantee to hit anyone around him when he does use that SA2, which is actually very good. It's definitely the best type of SA2 vortex. And since this character does have an increased chance to inflict the weakening against technic attribute Soripers, that SA2 is actually pretty good for inflicting the weakening. His SA3 is a 1175 distant AoE in front of him, very good SA3. Overall, makes him a very good character. He has weakening and everything, he has the extra flash steps, and if you were one of those people that were disappointed that this Hikone didn't get long stride, well, you can get into T15, give him the long stride, maybe give him extra damage to weaken enemies, maybe give him to full stam, and he's going to be a very good and fun, fast character. His design is very cool. There's a lot of things to talk about the design. Unfortunately, I can't talk about in this video, which we did talk about in the showcase we did from a year ago, but again, he has a lot of usage going for him, especially when the IT quest comes around where there are Soriper enemies. He is going to be a good character for that. Yes, Bruno does exist. Yes, there are very good power attribute Soriper killers, but it doesn't change this character can be fun, especially if you are a very big fan of Hikone, and if you are, then he's maybe a character that is worth picking up, especially on a banner like this. And then the last character to talk about is Shuhei. Now, Shuhei is a bit of a weird character because, like, he is one of the few characters in the game to be one of the best nukes in the game. He, for the most part, until recently, was the hardest hitting soul bomb in the game, right? The weakening and the debuff effect is a very powerful combo that allowed some players, you know, OP Wild and Gino, to get banned and get given warnings in guild quests because they cleared too quick. Unfortunately, though, that has now been replaced with bombardment weakening that, you know, characters like Aaroniero have, characters like Bruno have, for example. So Bruno, in terms of, you know, nuking in Guild Quest, is actually a better character than this Shuhei. So if you were summoning for the potential nuking abilities that this character has for Guild Quest, do know there is a better character out there, Bruno. But having said that, his soul bomb is still a very powerful soul bomb, definitely still worth getting if you do want to use him. It's Bankei Shu at the end of the day. His visuals are great, especially his soul bomb animation, one of the best soul bombs in the game. Very much do appreciate that. And his gameplay is a bit... It's not bad. Like, his SA3 is a 1200 forward screen, SA1 is a lunge forward, SA2 is a vacuum vortex, similar to Artbook Ichigo's SA1, but it is lacking a bit in terms of, I think, the visual apartment, and that's really about it. He's not a bad character, but I don't want to gas him up, because there is going to be an eventual replacement of this character that's going to come out. Eventually, we're going to get a new heart character with a Rank Killer, and it's not going to be too hard to replace Shuhei. So that's basically the breakdown for the filler characters. Like I said, there is some value to be had here, because there are limited characters, right? If you can get yourself a featured character, you are guaranteed a can't field character. But let's look at the rates for this banner. So as you can see here, it's like any other normal banner, a 4.5% featured character pull rate, a 1.5% other character pull rate, not the best, and your guaranteed 5-star does come from the 5th steps, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25, and you do get a guaranteed featured character. So at least in the guaranteed step, you are going to be walking with a guaranteed, you know, can't field character. And this adds to the value this banner can offer if you are missing every character here. If you are, maybe it's worth going to 5 steps. Maybe. Other than that, though, you have some discounts on step 1, 6, 11, 16, 21, 150 orbs, and then 2, 7, 12, 17, and 22 come at 200 orbs. So, not too bad. I definitely recommend most people do the first step. It's discounted. Unless you're a veteran that's low in orbs, then maybe skip. But if you have a couple thousand orbs, doesn't really hard to do the first multi. Maybe you'll get something good. But other than that, though, lads, that was the breakdown for this Can't For You Old Schemers summons, featuring rounds 8, 9, and 10 of the Can't For You Old collaboration banners. Overall, pretty decent value, but having said that, even though they are good, they are someone that is worth having. The way power creep is going, especially at the end of the year, these characters might potentially get replaced, right? Tsukishima is going to be somewhat viable for a very long time. Kugo is going to be good for a very long time, in my opinion. But the other characters, even Shuhei, for example, even Hikone, even though they aren't bad, even though they are good characters and get better with dupes, you probably want to save your orbs for the better banners, especially this late into the year. We have 2 months until the end of year banner, and end of year banner is going to be an absolutely insane banner with a very broken character or characters. We don't know how they're going to do end of year this year because there are no manga characters in circulation, but you just want to make sure you have as much orbs as possible, and going down to 0 on a banner like this might not be the smartest idea, especially with the possibility that Spirit's Arthur with you is going to be getting a new round either this month or next end of month. So you want to have some orbs, more exciting characters, more better banners are going to be coming out in the future, especially post selection. Post selection is going to happen at the 26th of December, so you want to make sure you have orbs for that, and also end of year, because again, I know a lot of us content creators and people in the community are bigging up post selection, but do keep in mind, post selection is only here for 4 days, and right after that we get the end of year banner. So you don't want orbs for just post selection, you want orbs for post selection and the end of year banner. So do keep that in mind. Before you go down to 0 on banners like this. Even end of month, for example, might be an absolutely amazing banner, but going down to 0, if you're a veteran, you want to make sure you're able to get some orbs for post selection, which again is going to include 6th anniversary Aizen and Artbook Ichigo. So that's one of the main reasons why people are saving it for that banner. That being said, if you guys did enjoy the video, in the comments below, let me know if you are summoning on a banner like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.